World, what's up? We are on episode 14 of Lead Through Sports Spotlight. Tonight we have Aianna Kelly. So I'm a little out of breath. I was just running in the hallway, my bad. But yeah, we on. Get ready to send this out to a few people real quick. I'm about to add you, Aianna. Give me a second. Send this to some people. I just sent it. Miss Kelly.
What's up? How are you?
I'm doing well. How you doing?
Good. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, you good. I can hear you good. So, the streets call you Yanni, right?
You know, I got a couple of nicknames. I get Yanni, I get Yans, Yana, I get Ya.
Okay. I like where they come from. Where them nicknames come from?
I would say Yanni's kind of mixed from high school and college. Ya is from two of my close friends from home that I played high school basketball with. Yana is kind of just, I guess, a normal thing that comes with Aianna. Jans is one of my high school friends came with that as well, and then my college friends kind of started asking me that as well.
Got you. Plethora. You can never have too many nicknames. That's one thing I learned.
Yeah.
Too many nicknames. Well, I see a lot of new viewers on here, so I want to kind of explain what Lead Through Sport is and explain what we got going on here. So, Lead Through Sport is a student-athlete development initiative to inspire young current student athletes to enhance their leadership skills, and to use sport as a tool to navigate through life as we do.
Okay.
As you know, I'm pretty sure you know of some athletes, former and current, that think, it's either I go to the league or that's that, or, they just focused on going pro and don't really have a plan B post high school, college. And I'm trying to bring in people who are very successful post college like yourself, so we can, help give back the game, especially being from the 757. So
of course.
that's what this is about. So just to break the ice, tell us a little bit about yourself.
All right. So I was born in Clarion, Pennsylvania. My parents moved to Virginia. I can't remember how old I was, but my dad coached college football for a long time, so that's how we ended up in Virginia. And then I went to Woodside High School. I played well, and then I attended Presbyterian College. Majored in business, minored in psychology. Now I'm down in Lawrence, South Carolina, excuse me. And now I'm at the high school level as a career specialist at varsity basketball.
Nice. We'll get into your career a little later. I do want to know, I was reading your the article in your bio, and y'all was 79-8 in high school. That's wild. That's a lot of winning. That's a lot of winning.
At Woodside, yeah.
Yeah. So did y'all I'm pretty sure those losses, you felt those losses more than you felt the wins, didn't you?
Yeah, absolutely. Because a lot of our losses, I feel like, were close games. Could have won, and I actually remember a couple of them, but yeah.
That's wild. So how many sports did you play growing up?
So I did gymnastics when I was younger. Obviously basketball. I dabbled in track a little bit, but then I realized, that was fun, and I had bad knees, so I ended up not participating in that 100%. And then I also did t-ball, but basketball was my main.
Got you. And what made you take basketball to that next level?
So my dad played football, basketball, and track, and then my older sister played basketball, and I think I just kind of followed behind her footsteps. And then my dad was my AAU coach when I was young. And when I was there, and I kind of just stuck with it from there.
Got you. Makes sense. So let's talk about your high school days. When you entered high school as a freshman and throughout high school, were you ever thinking about life after sports then? Did you have any a thought about being a coach or being a career specialist or anything like that in high school?
Absolutely not. Just playing basketball.
I feel that. So how do you feel about, because I feel like, and I tell everybody this I interview, I feel like there's a balance. I feel like you should be thinking about it to a certain extent, but you don't want to lose focus of that, current goal of being the best basketball player you can be. So how do you feel about that?
No, I definitely agree. I think if I could go back and tell my younger self, and some of the kids I tell at the high school now that, are athletes or non-athletes, you want to have a plan B. And I say that just because one, you don't know if you're going to get scouted, recruited, just life after sports. It's going to come in one day. And you kind of just want to have a plan. And, you know, injuries happen, types of things happen. But I feel like a lot of us athletes are actually tunnel vision on the sport, and not really thinking unless you know for sure, like, you know, you want to go to medical school, you know, be a lawyer, like that. But definitely wasn't thinking about what I was doing after college at all.
Gotcha. So you speak about tunnel vision. What was your tunnel vision like as far as, you know, approaching basketball, the sport? What was that like, that journey in high school?
So I would say it's weird because when people ask me about my high school journey, I mean, I just went to practice and then I played AAU. I never did extra work. I did extra work in the gym. I guess I was just kind of naturally athletic. And I know that sounds crazy because now I preach to my girls like extra work, but that's from me learning, you know, and just going through my process. But I think, yeah, I mean, it was just basketball, AAU, and I mean, that's pretty much it.
So you basically telling me you might have had a different level. Like, you were very good. You got to the Division I level, but you think if you could have put in some more work, you think you could have, you know, maybe been a little more better?
Oh, absolutely. I think that, and then I think going into I sat out my junior year, like that big summer that people get recruited.
Mm-hmm.
After junior year, I sat out that summer specifically, and I had got an invite for one who's, I think, elite team. Is not his team, but that whatever age group it was for the year. And I sat out that summer, which was a big recruiting year. But I did it because, like I said, I had basketball. So when I look back at it, that probably messed up a lot of my recruiting.
Got you. That's tough. So let's talk about the Woodside program. How was playing in that program? Because you played alongside a lot of good players, Adrian Motley, Alicia Bell, list goes on. And I remember playing at Woodside and always watching y'all. Like, I didn't watch maybe a lot of the games before, so I'd be listening to my music, getting in tune. But whenever I went to Woodside, I was definitely watching y'all. So what was it like playing in that program with great players and I'm guessing a great coach or a good coach?
It was good. I mean, that's another funny story in itself. So obviously being under Coach Talon, his history and stuff like that, Woodside was a great program. He's probably one of the better, you know, coaches in the district, even in that area, or even in Virginia. If not the best coach, in my opinion, obviously. But I mean, it was great playing for him. He brought me up as the 8th grader at the end of my junior year. I was on varsity as a 9th grader. I was playing with, you know, some of the older girls. I was pushed and to learn quickly. So by the time I was a freshman, I pretty much played and I started a lot. And then, you know, along the girls that I play with, I mean, those are my girls. So, I mean, I would go back and play with them any day. Alicia, I played with since we were 10. And we just had a good team. I played with my sister for 2 years as well. So, I feel like, you know, a lot of people know about the side and the girls, the history we had, the team we had. We fell short not winning states, but, you know, a lot of people probably would say we would have deserved to.
Absolutely. Y'all were very good. And I'm glad y'all got that experience playing with each other. You know, there's nothing like playing with your best friends. I got an opportunity to play with one of my best friends in AAU ball. We split up when it got to high school. But, like, high school, I always tell people, like, high school basketball is so much different than any other level because you're playing with the people you grew up with. And you don't get that experience nowhere else. So
right.
that's definitely a good experience. What position did you play?
In high school, point guard. In college, I played the point guard and the small forward, the 3.
Got you. So well, before we get to college, I got a game that we're going to play. And I play with all of the people I interview. It's called Random Rapid Fire. And I'm going to ask you a series of questions, and it's going to be about any and everything. All right. And you got 3 seconds to answer, or I'm going to move on. So, you ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. Would you rather receive a check for $50 million and chill or make $20K a month and grind?
Probably 50 million chill.
Okay. What drives you more, your passion or the results from seeing your passion?
Results from my passion.
Snowy, windy, or sunny?
Sunny.
How many stamps do you have on your passport?
Ooh. Maybe like 8, 7.
What is your favorite part about Jamaica?
Ooh. The excursions.
Where do you want to go next?
Mexico.
Ooh, yeah, Mexico. Got that shit on right now. Do you have a desire to coach college basketball?
I already did it.
Where?
Davidson Elkins.
How was that experience?
It's interesting to say the least.
What made you get into coaching?
Just the love of the game and coming off my injury.
Are you a good coach?
Absolutely.
Which aspect of coaching do you think means the most?
Ooh. The work that my girls put in and seeing them, get the rewards from it.
Podcasts or books?
Dang, I like both. Books.
Favorite book?
Ooh. That's tough. Shoot, that's tough.
Next. Martha Stewart or Chef Yans?
Martha Stewart.
Truthful answer, I feel it. Favorite meal to prepare?
Salmon, mashed potatoes, asparagus.
Rate your cooking 1 to 10.
A 10.
Good. And give us one quick life lesson that you learned over the last year.
Getting out your comfort zone.
That's a good one. One thing I tell people all the time is comfort is the root of all evil. Comfort, like you can get so comfortable doing something and then you'll never branch out and see what your potential is in this, or just, get overall, you just miss out on life when you're comfortable in every aspect. So that's a real good one. So I want to talk about college for a second. Besides basketball, what was your college experience like, just experiencing freedom for the first time, adjusting to, just being able to do what you want when you want to, not having to answer to anybody? What was that like for you?
It's interesting because I'm in South Carolina to begin with. So it was definitely a culture shock coming down here. And then I was at probably the smallest D1 school in the country. I would say the biggest thing, time management was big. That was something I had to get adjusted to. I loved my experience, definitely on the court, off the court. I kind of question if you get the full college experience, just being truthful as an athlete at least. But I think the biggest thing is walking in a relationship. PC is one of those schools. It is what you make it. And I think the biggest thing is the people. That is.
Great people. And you talked about relationships too. I'm just writing some notes as you're talking. This is really good. So you talk about, making PC. You have to make it because is it small school?
Yeah, I think undergrad was only like 8 students, and then they had pharmacy school. They just started the pharmacy school years ago, and then they just added the OT school, PA school. But yeah, it's like tiny, literally the smallest in the country.
Really? Wow. So I went to a small school too, and I feel like when you have to, make the most out of your situation, I feel like a lot of times you learn a lot, from having to, make that transition. So what did you learn from having to make the most out of your college experience?
I would say, what did I learn from making the most? I think it's kind of just the value of friendship, relationship. Like I said, timing was a big thing. Leadership, being able to communicate.
Mm-hmm.
I would say those are probably, things.
Got you. So now let's take it to, that balance of being a student athlete and a student. What was that transition like? Because, it's way, way, way harder in the college level than the high school level. What was it like balancing, those late nights, early mornings, balancing weightlifting at 6 a.m., maybe practice at 1, having to go to study and have film? What was that like for you in college?
I mean, it was tough. I would say it was an adjustment. Like I said, time management was big. My freshman year, I think I was holding on to my friends from I would be on the phone. Like I love to be on the phone, so I'd be on the phone, kind of like just doing my own thing. But I think we did summer school, which brought us in the summer before. And I think that was a good way to adjust and meet some other people on campus. It is a grind, a job. I'm pretty sure everybody has said that. That's a college athlete. It's not something that you can think about doing. You have to know that you do it, type of thing. But I mean, we used to have. I mean, our schedule used to be crazy. Like my coach was like,
"Give us that. I want to hear that schedule. Tell me that schedule. What was that schedule like? That's what we want to hear. What was that schedule?"
All right. So I think my freshman year, or I think for 2 years out of my 4 years at PC, we had morning practices. So we had like 5 a.m. practice, 5:30 practice. I had to be in the training room around 4:30 o'clock because I just need treatment. We were big on accountability, so we always set that minute, time frame just in case somebody overslept or we needed to, make some adjustments, things like that, just make sure everybody was on time. So we would have practice. Sometimes practice would be 2.5 hours. Sometimes it would be 4. Then you would go to class, whether you had an 8 or you had class, 8 to 12, maybe later than that. In between classes, you had academic meetings, you had film session, you had individuals, you had weights, kind of just depending on where we were season. And then sometimes you barely had time to eat. Big snacker when I was in school, and then being up, late at night, and then turn around and have to do the same thing the next morning. You didn't really have time. Definitely was a grind, and then we did study hall. I was in study hall for a very long time, I would say, but I thought.
So let me ask you this: looking back, because you can tell the truth now because you're far removed. Was it worth it?
Absolutely.
It was.
I love the game. Enjoyed playing. So I think the biggest thing for me was thinking basketball.
Mm-hmm. I got you. Good stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff. So, what kind of lessons did you learn from your college program? That helps you out in life today.
Ooh, like I said, time management, being disciplined. I would say servant leadership. I had a great coach. He led by example. I'd say that as well because I was a sophomore. So learning how to communicate and lead early, and then what you put in is what you're gonna get out.
That's a fact. That's a fact. And do you think from you going from high school to college, did your individual work ethic, did that step up a notch in college, or it was still the same thing, just showing up to practice and just showing up to what you had to?
Oh no, it stepped up because you have so much free time. You have free gym access. I feel like I was in Virginia. I don't know if I didn't necessarily have that. I guess I didn't go looking for it. It's also pressured me to do it. But once I got to college, it's like I could get in the gym whenever I want.
Got you. That does make a difference. Okay, good. So let's transfer to your career and what you do now. Give us a list of jobs that you've had since you've graduated college.
My first year out, I was at Davidson Elkins, a Division II school in West. I was an assistant coach there. After that, based on the situation, I came home and I worked 2 part-time jobs at Lido, and then I was at the international building for Bush. Then I reached back out to some PC people. I felt like I wasn't finding a job at home. It was hard finding something within my degree because I do an internship. But I reached back out to some people at PC, became an admissions counselor at PC, and then after that, I got to the high school. So now I'm at the high school.
Got you. So you coach college basketball already. I do want to ask you this. Which one do you prefer, high school basketball or college, and why?
I'm going to say college because 1, skill level, 2, they're just as passionate about it as I am, and they're willing to give it. I feel like the high school level, I'm pulling teeth. I'm stressed every day. Yeah,
I feel that. So when I coached college basketball as well for a half a decade, and one thing I always learned about the college level is, a lot of those guys that you're recruiting, they want to play. So it's kind of easier to coach them. That high school, like they're not, some of them just playing for fun. Some schools pick up players to just fill spots. And it's like, yo, I got to do this every day. Like that can get tough.
Yeah.
But
yeah, it's stressful. But I say college, and I know without a doubt I would enjoy it. But I think now that I've been out, the lifestyle is the biggest thing. Because I always get questioned about coming back. And I'm just like, now that I've been out, I don't want to go back.
I feel
it. What? 3 years ago when I was all in, because when I was in West Virginia, I was getting paid nothing really. I was there for all the experience. I was all in. I was willing to do whatever for it. But now that I've been out, I'm not willing to do that. Now that I feel like I've grew and figured different things out, I don't do that anymore.
Got you. So let's talk about your program now. What is the hardest part about coaching, high school in South Carolina?
You want me to be honest?
Yeah, I want you to be all the way honest.
Skill level.
Mm-hmm.
These kids feel entitled. And the parents.
Entitlement. Glad you brought that up.
The parents.
Let's dive into that entitlement. What do you mean?
The kids don't feel like they have to work hard.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, this is not even just in sports. This is what I've known, like, see just throughout high school. They want everything handed. They don't want to work. They're lazy. They're in their phones. I mean, it's bad. Like, they just think it's supposed to be just literally handed to them. Like, they don't want to work hard. They complain. They make excuses. I probably hear everything.
And I feel like that is the biggest problem in today's society. The back end of, what are we, millennials? The back end of millennials, Generation Z, they want everything handed to them. And I feel like it is killing us as a whole. And I don't see, like, I feel like the state of sports, it's not bad, but I feel like it's just getting worse as we continue in, life. And I'm just trying to figure out what can we do to change that. Like, what can we do, Yanni? Like, what
to be honest, I really don't know, because I talked to some college coaches and they said it's starting to leak into the college.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I mean, it's literally so bad. And like I tell my girls, I wouldn't make y'all do anything I can, and I get out there and play with them, and I still do the same stuff that all I know is what my high school coach and my college coach have instilled in me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to run a college program.
Facts. Talking about instilling things, what do you instill into your players as far as character-wise?
Communication. Again, what you put in is what you're gonna get out. I always say, you complain about playing time and stuff like that. If you're not happy, I mean, look what you're doing in practice. What time are you putting out for, individuals? Like, we're in college, my girls. I prefer for them to do after, and I hardly have any, So I say that. I think the biggest thing I wrote, just kind of instill or hit on is growth and comfort zone. I think that's literally the biggest thing anybody could do.
Absolutely. When you think about high school players and, when kids aren't as skilled, even when they are as skilled, growth is most important, and taking the time out to actually learn them and learn their skill set and learn them as people, because for one, that's what they're going to remember the most. No matter the scoreboard, they're going to remember how you treated them. They're going to remember what you taught them, like the skills that you taught them that transfer directly to life. You know what I'm saying? And then everything else comes after. So I feel like if you teach character, I feel like, it just makes things that much better.
Yeah, communication. I mean, literally all of that. Communication is another big thing. Work ethic. I feel like, we all know your work ethic's key. That's what follows you into the real world.
Mm-hmm. That's fact. And for players like you and me who have, like, really good high work ethic, it's hard when you see a kid not doing things that you were able to do when you're trying to teach them. It's kind of hard. But at the end of the day, when you see those small wins, like when you see somebody not being able to, maybe do combination moves, and they're maybe not doing it as well as you wanted them to, but when you see that growth, when you see them, just getting better, that's gratifying. How do you feel about that?
No, I agree with that. I think we had a situation, or we had a scenario like that. We won one game this season. Gosh, my team is cool, but just being honest.
Yeah, it's all good.
And I would say just throughout the year, there's certain things I preached on, and I feel like that last game, like I did what I needed to do as a coach, to set them up to win that last game. And I feel like everything we talked about throughout the season, that last game, I feel like they finally trusted me. And it was just like a good, like I told them, it was a good ass one. Like, I came in the locker room, they're throwing water, even though we were getting the championship. But I feel like they kind of saw what I've literally said at the beginning of the season. And, it was a hard year because of COVID. To be able to win that last game, we went out, bang, like that fast. Like, I was like so ecstatic for them.
That's good. That sounds good. Let me go to these comments real quick. I see some people commenting. My guy, NHACG Hoops, you're on the path to greatness, bro. Only up from here. Appreciate that. Go get your money. My boy Z from high school. Go get your money, Miss Lady.
Appreciate that.
Ebony says, speak queen. Shayla Merrill, Aianna Kelly, girl love.
Shayla.
My pops on here. What you put in is what you're gonna get out. That's real. That's real. You said that a couple of times, so that means something, definitely. So let's talk about the other part of your job. Tell me about the job duties that you have on a day-to-day basis.
So I'm a career specialist. I help kids apply to colleges, ACT, SAT, figure out what they want to do with their life. So I can take career assessment. I ask them about personality types. I go into like classrooms and I do presentations, whether they need help with their resume, just talk about different career paths. I tell them that they should challenge themselves. That's the one thing I preach, like I said, even for non-athletes, like a lot of these kids these days, again, don't care. Like you hear the comments of, oh, I'm just ready for school to be over. Oh, I got to take this test. I'm going to fail it. Things like that. And I'm like, I go into a classroom and like, well, what do you want to do? You know what you want to do? If you had to pick a career today, and I'm like, well, what do you like to do? What do you like? Dislike? And I just try to challenge them to figure that out. Whether you're a freshman or a senior, you want to start about it. I also tell them, we can put you in contact with any profession that you want to talk to. I don't mind making calls. So I do that. Sometimes I deal with like some counselor issues outside of like the career stuff, just being there, for somebody, giving them advice, helping them. But that's pretty much what my day to day.
So how do you balance that frustration? Because I know that's very frustrating. I'm a sub right now, and just trying to help these kids. I'm a sub on the middle school level, so that might be worse. And just trying to help these kids understand life and understand that life is bigger than the moment. They act in the moment and don't understand what you're doing right now. All of the actions you're doing right now, they're going to come back and bite you in the butt. How do you balance that? Can you hear me? I think we froze. Can you hear me?
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, so how do you just balance that frustration from not, just going off on these kids and just still being able to help them?
I would say, I think patience is key. I feel like a lot of these kids also don't have the right guidance. It starts from home, what I see. So I think just being patient and trying to help them see the big picture, and just kind of, telling them about my experience of what I've learned, and just instilling activity into them. So I would say that's probably the biggest thing. Now, I'm not going to say I'm not stressed, because I do get stressed. I'm not gonna say get angry with them, but sometimes impatient. But I think the biggest thing, if they're willing to learn, that's the thing. Like, I'm big on don't waste my time. I'm not gonna waste my
time. Facts. That is a fact, because we hate wasting time, and time is one thing you can't get back.
Are you able to see me?
Yeah, I can see.
Okay, I can see myself. We'll roll with it.
Yeah, you black now.
What about now?
You good now.
Okay, I can't see myself, but it's fine.
It's all good. Yeah, like you said, time, you can't get time back, so we're not trying to waste nobody's time.
Yeah, it's my thing.
Mm-hmm.
You out here?
This is your mother. Hello. That's your mom's?
She must be on my sister's page.
Oh. What's up, moms? Aianna, Ashley Joel said Aianna is the best and coached at all levels. Good stuff. Tubi said facts. So we're speaking all facts here. So you spoke about the bigger picture. What's the bigger picture going forward for Yanni? 5 to 10 years down the road, what do you see yourself doing? What's your vision?
Well, I'm still trying to figure it out. I've tapped into a few other things, like just with the investing side. I have a few things in mind. I'm just, patiently taking things day by day to see, where I can really get started with that. But I'm gonna be honest, like, I'm trying to figure it out myself.
Shoot, we all are. I mean, we're all young here, just trying to figure out life, and I feel like everybody needs to hear this. You can't put a timetable on, what you want to do in your successes. Some people don't accomplish what they want to accomplish until 50. Some do it at 20. So it's a never ending, it's just a never ending journey, and we just got to be able to enjoy it. And I'm doing the same thing. I'm just trying to enjoy it.
Because I feel like, society says we have to have this timeline, things have to be done, but I disagree with that. you got to try a bunch of different things to figure out what you want to do anyways. Like I'm a business major, haven't dabbled in business yet. You know, some people are not, you know, it's harder to get into, you know, what your degree was, things like that, if you don't have experience nowadays. So, you know, I disagree with that. Everybody's process and journey is definitely different.
That's exactly why I love this, because that just motivated me right there. Like, I already feel that way, but just hearing somebody from where I'm from and just on a similar journey to me, just trying to help, you know, the youth, that's really inspiring. And hopefully the people that are watching inspire too. So I got 2 more questions for you. From your athletic background, playing and coaching, give me a couple of, you know, things that you take from there and put into your career development.
I'll go with, again, time management. I'm very intentional about my time.
Mm-hmm.
I do a to-do list. I set, you know, goals, do the whole vision boards, things like that. Again, what you put in is what you put out, I feel like. So I feel like that goes along with the time thing, you know, like, what are you doing with your time? You know, if you're not happy with your situation, you got to figure out, you know, what do you want to do different? I think my biggest thing has been, I think my growth, getting out my comfort zone, not worrying about what others, you know, think about you, is the biggest thing. And I feel like all that just kind of stemmed from just, I guess, my experience at DC.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you know, once I got out, just having like-minded people, and things like that.
Got you. And last question, for any young boy or girl that might take a similar path as you know, grow up playing sports, play college sports, and then end up wanting to, you know, find themselves in life, what advice would you give to them?
Get out your comfort zone. Don't worry about what others think about you, and get an accountability partner. Get around, find somebody that is doing literally what you want to do, and get them to be your mentor.
That's a great one. That's a great one. I haven't heard that one yet. That's a great one. Well, Jan, you answered all my questions. I'm thankful for having you on tonight. This was very insightful and inspiring. Do you have any last closing remarks that you want to tell anybody out there?
No, I mean that's pretty much it. I think I kind of hit on everything. I just said something about commitment. I think commitment's key. Whatever level you're at, whatever you're doing, give it 100% while you're giving it. I think that's about it.
Good stuff. I have 2 more questions. When are you coming back to Newport News, and can I get a meal?
Shoot, you just missed me. I was in Virginia like 2 weekends in a row.
Really?
I don't know. I have a couple of trips planned this summer, so I got to figure out when I can get back. And what would you like to eat? I mean, what is your favorite meal?
I like a lot. I'm fat. I like a lot. I like seafood. Seafood. You good at seafood?
I got salmon for you. Salmon and shrimp.
I'll take both of those.
I know that people are into the whole crab boils and things.
I'm one of those.
I usually go to Pier 88, you know, for that, or some other places at home. But
so you're indirectly telling me to go to Pier 88. Just go to Pier 88. That's what you're telling me.
I haven't tapped into the seafood. All I got is salmon for you.
Well, that's fine. I'll take whatever you got. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Well, Yanni, where can the people that's on here, where can they follow you at?
Instagram at, Yanni22 _, Twitter, Yanni22, LinkedIn. That's weird, but I get on it just like every other social media. Facebook as well. That's pretty much it. That's where I'm at.
Got you. Well, I do want to say, whenever you guys start your season back up for next year, good luck with that. Good luck with your the other part of your career, and just keep being inspirational, motivating, and all of that good stuff. All right.
Thank you.
Anytime. Appreciate you coming on. I have a question.
Do my people in the comments have questions?
I don't have a question. But yeah, if anybody has any questions, you can go ahead and put them in the comment box. We got some time. We got nothing but time. Mom loves you. Alexis B said salmon is all you need. I don't know about that. I like my shrimp.
I don't know. I mean, I would say salmon and shrimp is probably the things that I cook most. I'm weird about cooking. I will admit that. If
Really.
it's not things, I'm not.
I feel that. I feel that. I ain't even mad at that. What about what else? I be acting like I don't know what I like to eat. I like to eat everything. That's the problem.
Alicia asked, favorite Woodside
Yeah,
memory.
that's a good one.
Woo! We had our three-peat. We had the three-peat. I think we won the district 3 years in a row, I think it was. And then we turned around and did the conference tournament. We had a three-peat. I won it when I played with my sister, and I think I won it 1 year with Alicia. I'm pretty sure we won it, me and Adrian. I mean, I have a lot of good memories. Those are girls. Like, I still talk to them to this day.
That's tough. That's tough. Shout out to Alicia, yo. Mom said, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
I already answered that. I'm not that childhood memory. Proudest accomplishment so far as a coach. Proudest accomplishment as a coach. Well, I'll do player first. Player. It's an accomplishment to me. Somebody else may not think so, but being able to, I was always a driver in high school. I loved playing defense. And then it was like my junior year, all summer, I worked on my shot at all. Literally just worked on my shot at 2 and 3s. So I would say that as a player. And then as a coach, let me think back to D&E as a coach. I would say as a coach, get first varsity.
Oh, hey, somebody up here wilding. Who the best sibling?
I'm just gonna ignore my family.
So Justin said, who do you look up to?
That's kind of tough. Dang, I'm getting put on the spot like that. I would say I have a solid circle with family and friends. So I would say just my friends for pushing me, and the great things that they're doing, and my family as well. You know, just with how I was brought up and the support I have, and then just saying that my siblings are doing great things as well.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Yeah,
Ashley said best sibling. Asked her about who saved her as a child. Ooh, I ain't getting into that. I ain't getting into no child. I don't want nothing to do with that.
Yeah, I would say, yeah, I'll go with that.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Well, I think we're at the end. I don't think anybody has any more questions. So y'all go ahead and follow Yanni. Keep up with her. Stay up to date with her. Y'all can follow me at tscotty_. Also follow my life development page at _rise to the occasion, where I post a lot of life development content, my career coaching content, all that good stuff. I'll be back next Thursday with another Newport News alum. I'll show y'all who that is on Sunday, so y'all stay locked in with me. Follow me, follow her, and I'll see y'all next Sunday, or next Thursday, I should say. Appreciate you, Yanni.
Thank you.
Good luck.